Hi, I'm Richard. We're at the Open Air Blues Festival in Brezoi. With me is Samantha Fish.
Hi.
Do you have a fond memory you can tell us about from the Knucklehead Saloon jam sessions?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Kansas City, and one of the places that I would frequent as like a late, in my teens and early 20s was a venue called Knuckleheads. They had a lot of jams, so kind of like epic jam sessions that would go all day long or all night. I used to go out there probably at least once a week to sit in with either the cool local bands in town, or they always had brought in like regional and national talent. And
before you were 18?
So maybe just slightly. It wasn't like we were bending the rules too much, but a little bit. But I used to go out there. That's how I met 𝐁𝐞𝐬𝐭, my first producer, was at Knuckleheads. I remember seeing Papa Chubby was the first artist I ever saw on a club stage as I was probably 16 or 17, and he was the first person I ever saw up close, and that's kind of like, it's funny because he's here too, and it's
Papa
like
Chubby's playing here tonight as
full
well.
circle, yeah.
Have you changed some ideas, or did you shake hands? Or
of course, yeah. I love him, man. I've been knowing him since I was a teenager, so it's always nice to see. That's the best thing about festivals, is you get to catch up with your old friends, and especially with the pandemic, we didn't get to do this or keep up with each other, so it's really like a big reunion. It's super nice.
How did the lockdown help you develop as an artist?
Well, I spent the time writing my album faster, basically. The album's called Faster. I didn't work faster, but I actually worked slower because I had more time to do it. I just focused all my effort into writing songs and co-writing, finding new ways to co-write. I was doing a lot of Zoom writing, which is kind of weird at first, but now I do it all the time. But really, I spent a lot of time just working on the next phase, because it's like, what can you do when you're not touring and you don't have anything else, lined up? It's like, well, the next phase, the planning phase.
And you're based in New Orleans now. What's the scene like in New Orleans?
I'm not home enough to really get to experience it, but the last I was really home was around Jazz Fest, and that's probably, one of the biggest couple of weekends in New Orleans.
When is that?
Last weekend of April, first weekend of May. We got to play the festival, and we also played some, venues around town. We played the Fillmore, and we played the Howlin' Wolf, and so that was really exciting, because I don't really get to do very many shows in New Orleans, like maybe once a year. So the scene's great, though. There's such a rich history of music, and culturally, it's the most important place, in my opinion, for music in the whole U.S. It's the birthplace of rock and roll. It's like there's still great music coming out of New Orleans. It's very inspiring.
And there's the Louis Armstrong house there.
Yeah. Yep.
From what I read about you, I understand you were a big Tom Petty fan.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you found out he passed away?
I was gutted. I was really sad. That's just one of those, he's one of those guys, it just was so sudden, he seemed like to be in very good health, and, all of our, heroes are getting up there in age. We all get older all the time, so, it's inevitable, I guess, but at the same time, I found it was pretty sad, very heartbreaking. I never, got to meet him or anything, but I've seen his shows. I went out to see him as many times as I could, and he was one of my favorite performers. Very inspiring and incredible writer. Did a lot for music.
You won a lot of awards yourself. Is there one that you're proud of?
Well, I'm proud of. Anytime you get an accolade or some type of pat on the back, it's a big, it's nice, and to me it's just clear. It's just more. It's just more. I don't know. Evidence that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't really like rest on it. It's not like, okay, I did it, now I can take a year off. I just don't really get too comfortable in that. It's always nice to be recognized, but I just don't really I'm always thinking about what I should be doing next and what I should be doing better. You know, very self-deprecating mind. So the award's right over my head.
And what do you have in plan for this year, next year?
Well, I'm currently writing for the next album. You know, I've got some special tricks I'm looking forward to pulling. And, you know, just keep it moving, keeping people on their toes. Like, that's my favorite thing to do, so.
You're mixing a lot of genres in your music, fusing.
Yeah, totally. Yes, I like doing that. I mean, I'm inspired by so many different, you know, styles of music. And, you know, so for me, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to take all of that and then, you know, filter through this process, this artistic process, and that's your unique voice that you put out to the world. And it's nice when people can label it clearly, but I think we live in a world now where all the genres are really starting to blend, and it's the record store categories are getting more and more hard to, you know,
yeah.
which record, you know, which category is this record going? I don't know.
I know you haven't played yet, but what do you think of the Open Air Blues Fest here in Brezoi, Romania so far?
Well, so far, everybody's just been so nice and hospitable, so that's been like a real, you know, great thing to walk into. And we've had this on the calendar for 2 years, so I've been looking forward to coming back to Romania. Since I came here, I think it was in 2012, I went to 𝐁𝐞𝐬𝐭, if I was saying that right.
Yeah, it's a castle city.
Yeah, we played up there, and ever since then I've really wanted to come back. So when I finally saw it on the lineup again, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm really excited.
And where are you going next from here?
We're going to Italy tomorrow, and then we go to Spain, and then we go home for a couple of days, and then I'm diving into some new projects.
Okay, good luck with everything. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
And we're expecting you to come on down to the Open Air Blues Festival in Brezoi.
There you go.